So you all know my most enjoyable anime of 2022, which was Ninja Law, anime that was based off a free-to-play game on Nintendo Switch, which had a lot of surprising crossovers of Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and others as well. Wow. And it's still going on today, apparently, so I'm shocked about that. But hey, the anime is still going on too, even after an entire year. I don't know how many episodes it's going to have, but so far it's been something I've been looking forward to when I come back from work Friday morning. So it's my Saturday morning cartoon, but on Friday. I enjoy it because I like the character designs and the concept's very wacky but still interesting. And even though it's a very children's show, it has its mature moments, which I can enjoy. I know, right? So, anyways, but what was my most disappointing anime of 2022? That is Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Yes, made by Satoshi Mizukami. Satoshi Mizukami is a dude who's known for a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. I mean, like Spirit Circle, Planet Whip, which was his first anime, which was highly underrated, by the way. He even did Trigun Multiple Bullets, Psycho Staff. But my personal favorite, Sengoku Yoko, which was just amazing, by the way. I love Sengoku Yoko. And it's just, I was the one I was looking forward to being animated one day. So, even though I enjoyed Planet Whip, I was hoping that one day that his famous manga like Spirit Circle or Sengoku Yoko will be animated. And guess what? It did. It was my third favorite, which is Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. And I was so excited to see this until I saw the what the anime was going to be animated by. And it was by Studio Studio Nuts. Studio Nats, pretty much. Studio Nats. And Studio Nats is known for doing poor animation. Poor animation, regardless of the plot and characters. So I was hoping maybe they'll do good this time. And nope. So what is this anime about? This anime is about a dude who wakes up one day, see a talking lizard on his bed, telling him that he can give him powers and grant him a wish, but in return, he must protect the planet from a wizard who wants to destroy it. He must also gather other people like him and join the princess, who will be their leader, in fighting these golems and then the sorcerer for stopping him from destroying the planet. With a giant biscuit hammer that only few people can see that's floating in the sky. You can only see its shadow, but it's a very big shadow, so it must be a very big weapon. So he must gather these warriors who also have talking animals, from crows to cats to turtles to chickens to mouse to perimentus to swordfish to horses, snakes. You know, you get it, right? And each one gives them an ability that they are able to use to fight off these golems. However, little do they know, the princess herself does want to stop the wizard from destroying the world, but not to save it, but so she can destroy it herself. Now, you would say, is this a spoiler? No, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler because she says this in the first episode. She wants to be the one to destroy the world. Why? Well, you figure that out as you watch or read the story. So they call it the Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer because Lucifer is the main character, the guy with the talking lizard. It's because while the other fighters, the Guardians, are trying to fight to save the world, he is secretly fighting with them, so he would betray them in order to please the princess and to destroy the world. That's why they call it Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. See? Yeah. A lot of people didn't get that until towards the end, which even though they said in the very first episode. It's like, come on. So, what makes Satoshi's work so good is not just the plot, but the characters and the situations that they're put into, how they'll see. And sometimes the characters don't always seem as completely justice or righteous. Sometimes they have a dark side to them, a kind of a menacing, devious side where they don't really care much for the world, or they are plotting something alternate towards everybody else. And the characters themselves weren't always black and white, but gray. in a way, which is good for characters. Show us of humanity. Like, we might be doing something good, but not wish for the good intentions. Is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So, with this interesting plot and good characters, and most unique concept I've ever heard, what made this anime falls apart? It is its animation. Even down to the walking and talking, the animation was terrible. And especially with the fighting, it felt like I was going through a flashpoint, constantly flashpoint. And sometimes the way they would move is like they just took a picture and started going through Adobe Flash. Like they'll just take a picture like this. Instead of him moving, doing some animation, it's just like he jumps. He stays in the same pose the entire time. It's like you drag him across the screen. It's terrible. However, it didn't discourage me from watching the show because I was still intrigued. In fact, a lot of people complain about this show every single time a new episode will drop when it came out. I was watching comments each time an episode dropped and 2 sites for anime. But despite that, people were still there watching it. We were all complaining, but we were still watching it to the very end. It's like, yeah, the animation is terrible, and some of them didn't understand what's going on with the plot. But in the day, they stayed for the characters. The characters were very good. A lot of characters were good. Because each one had their own reasons of wanting to be in part of this fight. Some wanted to be very strong. Some of them didn't care the world would end, so they were seeing if they could win or not. Some wanted to see if they were really a good or bad guy. Some were trying to see whether or not they had a purpose in the world, while others were just trying to get over past mistakes. Each one had their reason, and it was very good to watch them see how they resolved their conflict at the very end. So I did enjoy it, but it was disappointing that the animation was just terrible. And this is the first time I've seen a very good writer who's been doing manga for all their life. They do tons of different manga stories. And when they finally get their stuff animated, it never gets, whether it's not well animated or it's just butchered, like it's poorly adapted. For instance, my boy Ken Akumasu, I can never stop talking about Ken Akumasu, the creator of Love Hina and Negima and Yukio Holder. I love Negima, I love Yukio Holder and stuff. Love Hina's okay. But every time his stuff would get animated, like Negima was animated like 3 or 4 times. There was original Negima of 26, 25 episodes, which was just okay to me. There was Negima 1000%, which was good, well animated, but was just a tired of a bad joke. Then there's one where they animated him going to the other world. The game of Ali Alaba, which was well animated, but it was butchered. It was butchered. And then finally, there was the movie, which I was like, oh, they're at least animate the final fight. No, it was a completely animated original movie. It was terrible. This was nothing like it was in the book. This was god awful. I was pissed. Like, doing yeet for this mother. Son of a... I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to laugh to get rid of the rage that I have inside me. But yes, it was terrible. So, what I'm trying to say is that Satoshi deserves better. He deserves better. In fact, a lot of manga writers deserve better. When they do good manga, you're hoping that they get well animated. For instance, the creator of Berserk. The first series of Berserk was good. Then there was a Golden Age art thing, which was and then there was a 2016 and 2017. They were faithful to the plot, but it was bad. I mean, bad CGI. But however, when I was watching with a cousin who doesn't really watch much anime, they were more of a sports guy, but they were into Berserk, they were okay with it. Believe it or not, normies are okay with bad animation because they see it all the time. He says his kids would watch stuff on Cartoon Network, which also had kind of CGI similar to that, where the CGI wasn't really all that. So I guess people are used to this kind of animation, and I guess we anime fans are just very high standard. What can I say? So yes, Lucifer and Biscuit was definitely the most disappointing anime of the year for me. Not because it was bad plot or characters, just bad animation from a bad studio. Well, I still say you guys give it a shot, whether you want to read it or you want to watch it. Either way, you probably enjoy it. Probably enjoy more reading it. But hey, also you gotta try watching it. Who knows? You might like it. Because some people did it in a day, despite its teeth pulling, hair pulling annoyance. They still were fond of it, surprisingly. And so was I. But I was still very disappointed. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and give the show or manga a shot and other Satoshi's work, as they're worth trying out. Especially on Sengoku Yoko and Spirit Circle. Pick those up. So this has been Matt Crown on Anime. Signing out.